again, we have a very serious situation unfolding right now on the coast. We have a Category 4, 150 mile an hour hurricane ready to make landfall. The eye wall is just on shore. This is what we do. Cover these hurricanes making landfall when the eye wall is getting on shore. That's why we waited till 12:30.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so anyway, I got Bill Phillips up in Virginia Beach. We're going to be, there we go. He's trying to get his camera back. Anyway, we're going to tag team back and forth here for the next 4 hours, showing you radars, storm chaser cams, satellite imagery, weather observations, latest updates from the National Hurricane Center. So what you're looking at is the complete track of Hurricane Laura from the time it developed here on the 19th of August, well east of the northern Leeward Islands, and it's moved west-northwest. Then it reorganized here east of the northern Leeward Islands, traveled just south of Puerto Rico, right over Hispaniola, and just south of Cuba for the most part, maintaining tropical storm. In fact, it was actually gaining strength. And Bill, that would have been our first indication this was going to be a really intense hurricane, because the fact that it survived so well over the mountainous regions and it really flourished. It was looking like a hurricane actually when it was over land. 938 millibars by the recon, and the official forecast from the Hurricane Center was 939 millibars right before landfall. Now to compare that to Michael was 923 millibars, so it's about 15 millibar difference. A little bit weaker than Michael, although, post-analysis, they might come up with the same intensity. We'll have to see about that. There's the current position of Hurricane Laura. Right now, that donut, that red circle there, are the really intense hurricane force winds. I'll show you the radar in a minute. And that is now moving on the coast. And so let's go hour by hour and see what's going to happen here. Here we go at 2 a.m. The eye is moving onshore. 3 o'clock. And by the way, we have a lot of storm chasers and cams in Lake Charles. And so this eye isn't even going to be over Lake Charles until around 4 o'clock in the morning, believe it or not. And the dark reds would indicate the highest winds that Laura has to offer. And the eye wall is now these very intense bands of red and yellows on the northern eye wall are moving into Cameron, Louisiana right now. Here we go. We were at 942. And that was at 2330Z, which is like 11. That was yesterday. Wait a minute. Yeah, that was 11 p.m. We were at 942. And when the Hurricane Hunter left, which was just recently, I mean, they just left like maybe an hour or so ago. The last fix we had was 938 millibars. And we have that's when it was 107 miles south of Lake Charles. And we have a 25 nautical mile wide eye. And estimated SFMR, the maximum surface wind outbound, 157.7 miles an hour. So if they can confirm this, Bill, this would be Category 5 strength, based on the SFMR winds. If they can confirm that, if it's not contaminated or some kind of an odd reading, and now and that was located on the northwest quad of the hurricane. And if you look at the radar, the deepest bands were northwest of the center, so that makes sense. And here's the advisory from the National Hurricane Center, the official. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but this is just for historical context. So when you go back and play the archive, you're seeing the last advisory on this before landfall. And we have 75 miles south of Lake Charles, Louisiana, winds 150 miles per hour, moving north-northwest at 15. Pressure 939 millibars, 27.73. Even though that was 938 in the based on the recon, the Hurricane Center sometimes will extract that and just go based on their judgment on what they think it is. Those winds look like they're probably about 60, 70 right there in that shot. And that was a storm chaser named Brad Arnold. Look at that thing. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, the difference between this one and Rita, and I went over this 2 nights ago, is Rita had a bat look. The area on the southern eye wall was eroded, and the dry air was working its way in. With this one, it's maintaining itself, just like the way Michael did when it came into Panama City. And just see if there's any dry air working into the system, and there's really not. I mean, the dry air is over here to the left, all these, the yellows and reds, they backed off. The system, you know, a lot of times these hurricanes can build their own ridge over the top of them, and they can keep the dry air away. They just push it out like little arms, and they keep that dry air at bay.
Jim, I'm back with you, buddy.
Okay, good. I was just about to check some the weather flow network here and see if there's anything coming up there.
The weather
All right,
flow
so
map.
here we are. This is Lake Charles, right in the center of the screen. Okay, this is called Moss Bluff. It's just north of Lake Charles. And that might explain why they haven't got the high winds there yet, because they're still north of Lake Charles. This is northeast winds at 11, gusting to 17, pressure 29.46. So it's pretty consistent with the pressure anyway.
29.46. That would be like high 990s. Okay.
Here we have, this is from just southwest of Beaumont. We have 29.45 inches. Let's see, northeast. I'm questioning all these winds, Gus. They're really light winds for that area. I mean, this is southeast of Beaumont. Okay, here's the U.S. power outage map, and it's zeroed in on Louisiana. And you notice the red down here in the lower left-hand corner. That's the Cameron Parish. We have 1,142 customers without power. That's about 60% are now without power. Thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, moving northwest at 30.
And with a hurricane like this, you need to be in a tornado-safe room for the next 3 hours or so if you're anywhere near an eye wall like this.
Can you hear the roar? I'm gonna be quiet, and you can hear the roar outside now. The whistling and the roar is starting getting louder and louder. Power! Wow! Oh! It's exploded right beside my building. Wow! Right out my window here. Huge explosion again, right beside the car here. All the power went downtown. Lake Charles went off for about 5 seconds and came back on. Wow! Downtown Lake Charles. Okay, the northern eye wall is now cleared Cameron. They're in the eye. Cameron, Louisiana is now in the side, the middle of the eye, or northwest side of the eye.
10 miles north of the eye wall, where Jeff Petrowski is right now. So he's not getting the worst of it. It hasn't gotten to him yet.
So it's probably about 45 minutes away if it's 10 miles or so.
48. That's current. East-northeast winds at 59, gusting to 84 knots. Right on the coast. Wait a minute.
Starting to get little bits of debris on Reed's shot. Not much, but things are starting to come apart.
Okay. All the cams are still up. He's got the Hackberry one still streaming. Port Arthur.
What's the one in the bottom left, or the bottom pipe that's kind of shaking a little bit?
This is downtown Lake Charles. We've got 100% without power now in the direct, where the eye wall is already hit. We've got Vermilion Parish, 6,171 without power. That's about 30% without power.
I would say the first 3 counties, where the eye wall came in and then due north of there, the first 3 counties are probably going to be all without power there. First 3 parishes.
Yep. Station right off the coast of Beaumont, like Port Arthur, right on the coast. North winds 56, gusting to 67 knots. Doppler radar images indicate that the eye of Hurricane Laura has made landfall at the coast near Cameron, Louisiana at 29.8, 93.3, moving north at 15. Hurricane force winds extend out 60 miles from the center. And again, Rita was 75 miles, so it's a little bit smaller than Rita, but still more powerful. Much more powerful than Rita. I think Rita was 120.
Yeah, and Rita was weakening on approach. This was either strengthening or just leveling off.
Right.
Major power flashes there.
A weather flow site in Cameron recently reported a sustained wind of 101 with a gust of 116. National Ocean Service site at Calisi, I think I'm repeating myself from the last one, but anyway, 93 gusting to 127. That's a good gust.
Oh, yeah.
Wind gust of 104 mile an hour was reported at Lake Charles, Louisiana. Minimum central pressure from the hurricane hunters was 938, 2770. So that's official. Landfall in Cameron, Louisiana.
See, strongest part is just about to come in.
All right, let me go to this video real quick, Bill. This is a storm chaser named Brandon Clement.
Brandon Clement, okay.
And he's got some kind of mobile unit that's ready to fall over or something.
Go.
Well, look at the hole next to the port.
I'll give you guys an idea how much debris.
Step back.
Nice way to get decapitated.
You hear the lady bitching in the back?
Yeah.
Well, lights.
Yeah,
I'm about the only lights downtown Lake Charles.
That's where floodlights come in.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
Power's out.
Explosions all over the city. Explosions all over the city. Everything's exploding. Power lines going down. Grid's going down. It's total whiteout. Total whiteout now. Power's out to 75%. Tons of debris in the air. Massive amount of debris in there. Look at all the debris flying. Tree debris. Debris flying everywhere. Tree debris. Limbs. Power flashes. Explosions south side of town. All of downtown is exploding.
This is Lake. Notice the eye is right over Lake Charles now. That's right where Petrowski is, right where the Lake Charles symbol is, and he's getting the highest winds.
Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Oh, crap! Oh, God, I gotta get beyond. The whole building just came off. Air conditioners just came off the building. Oh, shit!
Oh.
Hit the car! Oh, God, here we go! Shit! That's air conditioners! Get down! Air conditioners are flying! That was air conditioners came off the roof! 130 plus! I'm in a concrete That's the backside of them in a concrete corner. 1 foot, 2 foot thick concrete walls. Downtown Lake Charles.
See what I'm looking at?
Yeah. Looks like a lot of windows blown out in that building.
Wow.
This is Josh Morgerman from a little while ago. That was Josh Morgerman.
And then the recon comes on, it closes that arm back in, it closes that circuit.
How many more changes do you think you got?
And the eye is just about to pass over Lake Charles. So these guys that we've been showing you are going to be in the comm here in a few minutes. As they will get in the eye of Hurricane Laura, August 27th, 2020, 3 a.m. The eye is moving over Lake Charles. Okay, here's a 2 a.m. update Central Time. This is brand new from the National Hurricane Center. Eye wall of Laura pushing inland across southwestern Louisiana. Catastrophic storm surge, extreme winds, and flash flooding ongoing. The eye wall of Laura will continue to move inland across southwest Louisiana during the next several hours. Take cover. Now, treat these imminent extreme winds as if a tornado was approaching. And move immediately to a safe room in your shelter. Take action now to protect your life. The safest place to be during a major hurricane is in a reinforced interior room away from windows. Get under a table or other piece of sturdy furniture. Use a mattress, blankets, or pillows to cover your head and body. Remain in place through the passage of the life-threatening conditions. A National Ocean Service tide station at Casio Pass, Louisiana, observed a water level rise of 9.1 feet at 1 a.m. That's not as high as I would have expected, though.
Where's that at, though? And is it still rising?
That's that lake that's right there near Lake Charles. It's called Lake Calassi. Yeah. Lake Charles Airport reported sustained wind of 85, gusting to 128. University of Florida Observing Tower near Lake Charles recently reported a sustained wind of 86, gusting to 112. And a Texas Coastal Observing Network site at Sabine Pass on the Texas-Louisiana border recently reported winds of 74 and a gust of 90. Winds are now down to 140. And that's 10 miles southwest of Lake Charles. Pressure 941 millibars. 941 millibars.
It will weaken quickly now, but the next 3 hours, wherever this thing goes for the next couple of hours, is going to be hell.
Well, so far what we're seeing is that all the predictions are coming true of a very dangerous hurricane, especially happening at night. The storm surge being the big story right now down along the immediate coastline, especially in places like Cameron and areas east of there. Now that threat is moving up and into Lake Charles. We've already seen damage in Lake Charles, lots of power outages, and very, very high wind. The camera is able to capture these, but we also have these weather stations that measure the wind speed and the air pressure, and one of those weather stations, which was actually on the west side of the core of Laura, recorded a wind gust of 104 miles per hour, and that was not even in the worst part of the hurricane.
These winds are probably 140. Oh, there goes the sign.
Got it.
Oh, boom. There we go. Bam. 2 miles west of Lake Charles, cabana collapsed at Golden Nugget Hotel and Casino.
Ooh.
Structural damage to Capital One Tower in Lake Charles.
Yep. We have ourselves another Panama City and Mexico Beach on the Gulf Coast. These people are going to have their hands full. Like, we could probably read it.
Well, yeah, in the daylight, yeah. Whoa.
That's a huge piece. What?
This is an oil rig in the Gulf. Guy, storm chaser named Corey Ecton? Yeah, Corey Ecton. Measured 143 mile an hour wind in Lake Charles.
Damn.
143.7.
Using what type of instruments? Did it say?
It doesn't say.
Somewhat suspect. Lake Charles, temperature 77 degrees. This is from the Weather Channel. 98 sustained, gust to 132.
Huh.
I mean, I haven't really talked to you since you went through the eye wall as well, and we all had to retreat. How did you guys make out?
Yeah. So, Jim, what happened to us, and by the way, I'm curious, I'm going to answer that, but don't go anywhere, because what happened to us is we had to come inside, they shut all the doors, and then we did live shots inside our hotel for a minute, and now we're in the garage on the front side. And speaking of, Jim, I can see your hotel now. So I was curious as where you are, because I'm on the garage looking at the front of your hotel. The power is out, and I want to make sure that the note has gotten to you. We actually have a spare room that's quite large that all of you guys could fit in if you want to get over to our hotel tonight or tomorrow. We still have power here. So I just wanted to let you know that is available. But where are you actually?
Thank you. We're in the front side. There's a huge overhang that you may not be able to see it, because I think there's a part of this hotel step that kind of wraps around and blocks your view. I don't know if you can see any of Brad's light. Okay. Brad, like, shine a light on a tree or on the arm of one of the parking posts that keep you out of the parking lot. I don't think you can see any of that light, but I don't think that light goes far enough to reach around the side of the building that shows you where we are. But we're kind of wrapped around in front, away from you. But either way, again, we're going to deal with winds, like Mark was saying, coming in from the other side.
Get right up on it, and there it is. Very well organized still, over land. Look at the backside of that thing, Bill. Just a lot more bad weather coming in there. Here's our current radar position of Hurricane Laura at 5:10 a.m. Eastern Time. DeQuincy is in the eye of the hurricane, and it is heading towards DeRidder, Louisiana right now. And let me get the 5 a.m. advisory. Let's see.
Still a major, jeez.
4 a.m. Central Time, 30 miles northwest of Lake Charles, 50 miles northeast of Port Arthur, Texas. Maximum winds 120. Moving north at 15. Pressure 948.
Very similar to look to what happened during Rita.
Definitely. I think there's more of them out this time around than what was in Rita, but very similar though. Yeah, and kind of expected. You know, it is glass, and unfortunately, it's obviously not reinforced glass for hurricane strength. So
it's a glass, right? Well, as we see the aftermath, a lot of glass gone. These windows have been shattered. Those strong winds really kicking out these windows, and you can imagine during the height of the storm, all the debris, including this glass, that was just getting whipped around and tossed around out there. Just incredible pictures there. Here's another picture again. This is before, again, in Lake Charles. You've got this structure. It looks like maybe a shopping center, side of a shopping center building. Well, that was before. After, look at this. You've got essentially a collapsing here. Lots and lots of damage here. And this, again, Lake Charles taking a big hit. Here's another picture coming in from Lake Charles. This was a La Quinta Inn. This was the before picture here for us. And in the aftermath, notice here, again, a lot different. A lot of debris. You got roof damage showing up. And all sorts of issues here with lumber showing up there for us on the ground as well. So, yeah, we're going to be watching and seeing more pictures like this, unfortunately, out of this area that took a pretty big hit from this very, very powerful hurricane.
Let me finish the video.
The damage is just everywhere in Lake Charles. Homes, businesses, schools. This was an auto zone, and look what happened here. I'm always fascinated by what the storms do. The roof of that auto zone winds up in the backyard of the next door neighbor there. Just tremendous power, 150 mile an hour winds. Came ashore in the town of Cameron, Louisiana, just on the Gulf shore, and then marched a path right up here, another business right across the street. That's a health club, I think, over there. And marched all the way up here to Lake Charles, still packing basically Cat 4 winds. And as I said, everything is damaged in some way almost in this town. I leave you with perhaps the residential neighborhood, all of the homes there with some sort of roof damage or some other damage. Trees are down, snapped off. You can imagine the power of a Cat 4 storm with 150 mile an hour winds. Not pretty. This is Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network in Lake Charles, Louisiana.